Welcome to Just Minding My Business. I'm so glad that you stopped by. And I am so excited to bring to you Lisa Peterson, who is a money coach and a sudden wealth specialist who helps entrepreneurs revolutionize their relationship with money. After years working as a traditional financial advisor, she founded WealthClinic to address what the industry was missing, the behavioral and mindset aspects of wealth building. She's also the author of The Money Catalyst and The Mindful Millionaire. Lisa was recognized by Forbes as one of the pioneering 10 women driving growth in wealth management and investing. Wow, you've been a busy bee, Lisa.
It's amazing.
Yes, well, welcome. And I am so glad of what you do because we all know how important our mindset is with every single thing that we do. And most financial advisors do not touch that area. So I'm thanking you for what you do.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, indeed. So tell us about the Wealth Clinic and how, first, I want to know what's the sudden wealth specialist? What is that?
Yeah, this has been a pivot recently because every once in a while, as you know, in business, we'll pause and we'll think about who's showing up, what are they asking for, how am I helping them? And recently I was like, wait, everyone has this in common where they've got more money coming in than they have been prepared for. So it could be a new business that really takes off, and they're like, what do I do with all this money I'm making? What a problem, right? It actually is a problem if you don't know what to do with it and how to take care of it. But also people, right? We have this great wealth transfer that's occurring, especially in the United States right now, where people pass away, they've got assets, they're passing them down to their children or grandchildren. And we also have people selling companies, especially smaller companies, where they didn't even realize that they could make, let's say, $250,000 by selling their company. And so they've never experienced that kind of wealth influx. And because of my background, I've been a millionaire now for more than 20 years. My husband and I have been building wealth for 30 plus years together. I have an MBA in finance. I've been a certified financial planner, all said, and a business owner for 30 years. You learn a lot through the process of helping people as a financial advisor, but you don't learn it all. And so what I learned is that these folks who are having this influx of money, if they can learn both the mindset so that they can really be a good steward of their money and the practical aspects from an educational standpoint, not because I want to be their advisor for the rest of their lives, but because I want to help them make really good decisions at the pivotal moments when it matters most.
And that's amazing because they're both hand in hand.
Mhm.
And, and it's just like you said, some people win the lottery, but because they have no mindset around money, they quickly lose it all
Yeah.
because they don't have that mindset. So tell me how you address that issue.
The first thing, which I've really been doing for 20 years now, but especially when I started my company 11 years ago, Wealth Clinic, I was curious about why some people get stuck in a scarcity mindset and why some people are just always abundant thinkers. And I reverse engineered by meeting with people who really good with money, never had to receive any mindset training. They just knew what to do and they know how to do it. And also with a lot of people who struggle. And so, through the course of figuring out what were the differences and what do we need to bust through to move from the scarcity camp to the abundance camp, that's where the philosophy and the training and the teachings and the breakthrough work that I've perfected comes in. One of the things I always want to do when I first meet with someone is I want to understand what's the thread that holds their belief system together around money. And many times it's just one thing that comes up over and over again in different ways. And so, by me asking a lot of questions about what is your money story? What were your first experiences with money? How was money treated in the home growing up? What were those messages that you were receiving about money early on? Whether it be economically because you were raised during a recession or even a depression for those that, did live through that, it changes how we think about money. And so I'm trying to understand, where is somebody at and where do they want to go? What's not working for them? And then that gap is what I focus my most of my time and attention on, whether it be mindset or practical understanding of money.
Mhm. Yes, that's so important because that mindset actually starts from the home where everything else starts. You know, your parents, they might have a mindset around money, and you learn that from them.
Yeah, there's data. There's a research study that was done in the early, like 2013 in the UK, that figured out that children by the age of 7 already have a conceptual understanding of money, even though they're not dealing with money,
Mhm.
all because of the influences of what's happening in the home.
Yes, absolutely, because they hear the conversations, they pay attention to the actions, all of that,
Yep.
for
Yep. And
sure.
it's more about, like, this is the disconnect for many of us. It's not just telling our children, or when we were children, it's not just about telling them what you want. It's about, are you embodying it?
Right.
Because you could say one thing and do another, and they're going to pay attention, right, to what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. All the time. It's not what you say, it's what you do. For sure. Now let's talk about your book, The Money Catalyst. What can people expect from that?
This is my second book. What I realized in writing the first book is that I know a lot, and many people, when they're learning about their relationship with money, it's a lot easier to go into someone else's story and learn about the challenges that they're having with money
Mhm.
rather than reading a book about your own relationship with money, because there's a lot of baggage there, which we've already talked about. So, The Money Catalyst is a fictional parable of a 34-year-old woman who goes on a journey to figure out, why is she living in scarcity, and is there anything she could do differently that would help her move into a more abundant life. And in the course of that, she confronts her relationship with her husband, who's very controlling about money. She confronts her relationship with her mother, who really struggles with money, and she was raised in that relationship. She deals with herself and some of this kind of shadows, if we will, things that show up in her work environment of, like, I got to get ahead, I got to do whatever it takes to get what I need to get. So, it's cringy at times, because these are the things that I've witnessed with my clients, thousands of them, all put into one short story that's incredibly easy to read. It's kind of like The Alchemist. You're going on a journey to learn about yourself. And there's journaling questions along the way to help you pause and be like, okay, I see what's going on for her, but, like, what's this bringing up for me? And that continues through the whole book.
Oh, wow. That sounds nice. I mean, really nice. So, how do people get that book?
Yeah, it's available on Amazon and other, booksellers. But the other thing that they can do, how about we give them, like, a secret passageway to, like, get going with this? This is
Okay.
what we're gonna do. Okay, I don't do this all the time, but I'm really enjoying you and our conversation. So, if you go to moneycatalyst.book.com, and you'll see that there's, like, oh, if you buy the book, you'll get some free bonuses. But if you put in your name and your email address, and then you just put in 01, which is like the receipt number, you'll come into the bonus world without buying the book. And you'll be able to get not just the beginning of the book, but you'll get like 10 meditations, you'll get the journal, you're going to get it all for free. And that's my invitation for you to see if this is something that you do want to make the investment on. And then like the ebook is like $10, the hard copy book in the US is like 20 bucks, but you don't have to do that. You can see if this is something that you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is what I need." And all of that'll be free for you.
Oh, right. That is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let's talk about the mindful millionaire now.
Yeah.
Tell me about that book and what people can take away from that.
Mindful Millionaire is a nonfiction book. So, this is about your journey to understanding money,
Mhm.
depending on what it does is it gives you a narrative to take you through a process of understanding your money story. Like, let's write your money story. Let's really understand where you're getting stuck. Let's understand at a deeper level what
Mm.
are the issues and patterns that are coming up with money and how can you actually move through them. So this is a like a workbook slash it's not your fault. Like our world is kind of messed up around money. Like this is something we didn't get enough education when we were growing up about money for the most part. Like this is a compassionate guide that helps you creates greater self-love and appreciation at the same time learning more about money.
Yes, yes. And I think that's important. Once you recognize that you do have something going on around the money, um, it's important to get the help that you need because you've got a lot of junk in the trunk, I like to call it, that needs addressing because it's not serving you. So
Yeah.
let me just ask, how do you work? Do you work with people in groups, one on one, with, really getting an understanding and understanding, yes, I do have a problem.
Yeah. I have done it all in the course of running my business, but a few years ago, my husband got cancer, and I decided to like back away from the intensity of like having lots of, big groups. We had over 100 students in our programs. And
Mhm.
so I've been gradually easing back, mostly focused on writing the money catalyst because I want to help people no matter what they can afford, no matter what they can do. But when it comes to working with people privately now, I am really oriented to like when there's an urgent need that someone knows, like I have to figure this out. And for whatever reason, I'm coming into their consciousness, then I will make myself available to help them, whether it be a 30-minute free consultation to just make sure they're headed in the right direction. But if they feel like they need more, then I can gladly help them. And oftentimes it's like 1 month, let's put the whole financial plan together and let's figure out what kind of breakthrough work do you need as it pertains to the mindset. And then what kind of tools do you need to learn or put in place so that you can build greater, consistent, sustainable wealth for yourself.
Yes, yes, because your energy is so powerful. You know, I would read the book and still want to talk.
Yay! I like that. I am really in this phase of life, and I can feel this for you. It's like service first. Like, I am so blessed. I am so fortunate. If people want to email me and ask me questions, like, I feel like it's an honor to help them. And I have so much grace and good fortune that I can do that. Like, I have the flexibility to be of assistance, even if somebody's not paying me. Like, that's not so important to me anymore.
Yes, yes. So let's talk about the seven essential parts of every thriving business because you already know we got businesses that pop up because of necessity, because something else failed for them, or we got people that actually planned it out, or the people that kind of fell into it. So how does that work? How do we help those folks? How do we help businesses, period?
Yeah. Well, maybe we can do this together because I'm sure you've got lots of ideas. But the one thing that I will just say coming into this is, let's say, are we talking about like somebody's in the beginning phases of their business? They're not sure that it's like totally taking off yet, or they're still working through those details. Is that sort of the audience?
Yes, yes, we can talk about that, and we can also talk about once you arrived, you know,
Yeah.
how to stay in the games, so to speak, and not lose your
Yeah.
life.
Yes, 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 yes. So for those folks that are still figuring it out, the thing that I love to talk about for a moment is that there's a idea that we often have where we've got to get it perfect. We've got to figure it all out. We've got to like be ready to go. And unfortunately, that's not really entrepreneurship because things could change a lot in the course of you launching and putting it together. And I wish someone had really told me this early on, that it's like build your best viable option and test it, get it out there, see what people are willing to pay you for it. Don't wait because you need it to be perfect. Test, test, test. Get feedback, ask questions, have people try what you're doing, experience it, give you testimonials, like be in the field, on the field of play as soon as possible. And you will learn more than you could even imagine. But it's when we hold back and don't are so afraid of failure that we don't have the quickest success.
Yes, and one of the things that we know um, is that you can't read about it. It's all about the action. It's all about developing and moving forward with it and not worrying about the mistakes, all of that stuff, because you're going to make mistakes. And quite frankly, if it comes out perfect, it was a mistake. And you will never remember how it happened.
Yes, yes, I love it.
Yeah.
And on the topic of money, my daughter started a company about 3 years ago, and it's really taken off, and I use some of the things I've learned that she's had so much success with, and I put them into the Money Catalyst because they're, like, relevant and they're happening, and she's really thriving, but one of those is the importance of feeling good about money, right? Asking for money, being comfortable receiving no's along the way. Like she's learned that if she isn't hearing enough no's, she's not charging enough for what she's doing. Like
Mhm.
I don't know why that seems such a big deal to me, but I couldn't believe it because she proves it over and over again that by having that philosophy, she is doubling, tripling, quadrupling what she charges because she's pushing the envelope. She gets paid more. She takes her work even more seriously when she's paid more for it. She does even better work. And then she raises her rates again. And it creates this incredible feedback loop of success.
Wow, that's very interesting because sometimes people think, keeping their prices low is going to somehow magically make people want to buy what you have, but that's not so true, because what
Yeah.
we look at is just like a lot of free stuff. This is free. People don't take it so seriously.
No.
They got to have enough skin in the game, I always say. And if it's not enough skin in the game, then they don't value it.
Yep. And here's the follow-up to that is she's had plenty of deals that she hasn't won because she's too expensive for these companies to work for her. But sure enough, they come back around when they've got more money. They're
Wow.
thinking about her. They're wanting to work with her. And they're like, well, we can't do it right now. But when they can, they come back.
Yes.
What?
That's because she's probably bringing value. That's one of the things that's important, value.
Yeah. You're on it. Like, what kind of value are you creating in your customers' lives and in their businesses?
Hmm. Absolutely. Wow. This is so nice. Lisa. I'm loving this. But a winning business plan. How do we craft a winning business plan? Because we all know that business plan is not in stone. I always call it a living document.
Mhm.
S- So help us craft a winning business plan. What are the ingredients?
The ingredients. Well, one that comes to mind, and I'm sure you help people with this, but it's like, don't do it alone. Like, you're very, very close to it. You want to make sure you've got insight and input from other people. And the closer they understand what it is you're doing, the better. Not so close that they're biased, but that they can give you really good feedback. So I think this is where coaches and assistants and services help you. But what do you want to pay attention to? I think it's important to decide early on how much money, whether you're wherever you're at, like how much money am I going to put in and how much money do I want to get out? And how am I going to actually get there? Because I've been coaching businesses for over 10 years now, and I can't tell you how many times the businesses who struggle are the ones who don't have a clear pathway of how they're going to get the money coming in. Marketing, sales, sales skills, marketing skills. Like, nobody's going to care about your business as much as you do. I think that it's good that you have a solid understanding of how to be a rainmaker in your business and not just think that you're going to outsource all of that to other people, especially early on. What do you think about that?
I think the same thing. I mean, when you first getting started, you wear a lot of hats. You wear pretty much all the hats, depending on where you are. But what that does is educates you, in terms of all of the intricate pieces that it takes to run a business, and then how long it takes, because once you develop the skill, you start timing. Well, how long does it take me to create a campaign? How long does it take me to put something out on the internet? You know, you know all of the ins and outs. So when you do give it off to somebody else to do, you will know if they're doing it right.
Yep.
You will
Yep.
you will know.
The the other thing that this is bringing up for me is the importance of really being fully cognizant of what's going on in the user experience
Mhm.
for your clients, whether you're a multi-international company or you're a small business. It's the same for all of us. We need to understand what's happening at that user level, what's important to them, how are they engaging with it, what's a positive outcome, what are their expectations, when do they get disappointed in what you're doing, and when do they feel like you've hit the ball out of the park as far as value creation. Like, you really, I don't think small businesses spend enough time inside of those sorts of conversations with their ideal audience.
Yes, and they'll tell you. You just have to listen. They will
Mhm.
tell you. Because I mean, I know in my experience, I pay attention to what people say, because that gives me what I need to make the changes. Because we're always going to be changing. Because at the end of the day, the customer, the client, they're the main person in the game, other than you.
Yeah,
For
so
sure,
good.
for sure. Wow, Lisa, if people want to reach out to you, how do they do so, my dear?
They can email me at lpeterson@wealthclinic.com. We talked about the moneycatalyst.book.com site and just entering 01 if you want to get those freebies. And you could also go to wealthclinic.com/vision, and you'll get the first chapter of the Mindful Millionaire and the Money Catalyst and meditations that I've created that help people improve their relationship with money.
Okay. All righty now. So the secrets to closing sales, and like you mentioned earlier, Some people are afraid to ask for the money. So let's talk a little bit about that because, especially new people, they feel like they're unsure. They're unsure of the pricing structure for their product. So how do you get around that feeling?
Yeah. Yeah. I have never believed in like convincing someone to buy.
Right.
So I feel like when I'm in a sales conversation with someone, my most important job is to make sure that what it is that they're looking for is well aligned with what I am offering.
Hmm.
Then it becomes a conversation about why is this important? When do you need this outcome? What is this going to look like for you? Am I the right fit? Because I feel like money, I never want to lead those conversations with the money. However, when the clear fit has been established, people are like, okay, what's this going to cost me? Like you've already decided, and as long as the money fits, then it's the right decision. If it doesn't fit, then maybe you have to negotiate or figure out something else. But I feel like we put too much emphasis on the money and not enough on, is this the right fit for the two of us to work together? Because once that's been established, then the money is just a detail. It's only a tool that allows the exchange. It's not going to be the thing to either of us that we want the whole transaction to be about.
Right. I agree with you wholeheartedly because if somebody come at me and they start talking, you need to get this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, shut down immediately because I don't like the way you're coming at me.
Yeah, when people jump too fast into selling you something, I don't know about you, but like I'm just like, "Oh, what just happened in this conversation? Like I thought we were connecting. I thought you liked me. I thought there was a real cool thing happening here. And now you showed me it's all about the money. It's all about you getting the business from me." And I don't know, I think people are they're way too savvy for that kind of treatment these
Oh,
days.
oh yeah, you're absolutely right for sure. You're absolutely right. You have to, just make it comfortable. Get to know that person. Ask questions. It's like coaching. When you meet somebody for the first time, you need to find out where they are.
Yep.
And they need to
Yeah.
know that you care first. I'm telling you, that saying is so true. People need to know that you care.
Yeah. Truly. Because if you feel like you're just going to be a transaction for somebody, like that's not a healthy relationship.
No, it's not. It absolutely is not. Wow. Wow. This has been amazing, Lisa. You have brought it today. And I always like talking to people that work from the inside out anyway, because everything happens from the inside out, period. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I just like talk about you for a second? Would that be okay before we
That'll be
close?
fine. That'll be fine.
Okay, so I love your spunk and spirit, and like you're so organized and you're so uplifting. Like, even before we got on the call, you already had given me a like feeling of who you are and your smile and your presence. And I wanted to say that publicly because I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these, and I can just feel you and how much you care about your listeners and your audience.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Lisa. I really do care about, I want the experience to be comfortable for you. And I want my listeners to take something away that they can use. Because in my world, it's all about being better than you were yesterday. Period.
Mm, I feel that.
Thank you. Make me cry.
Me too. I love it. I love like-minded souls when we cross paths.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, I really appreciate you. And again, if people want to connect, how do they do so?
Yeah, they can go to moneycatalyst.book.com, check out the new book, and or send me an email. I'm always here for you.
All righty. Thank you so much, Lisa. And audience, thank you too for stopping by. We appreciate you. Wow, Lisa.